I'm going to YouTube.
Jai Sachidanand. Jai Sachidanand.
Okay. Time is up. Pulinanandji, please, the three mantra.
Namo Vitragaya,
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Varyantanam,
Namo Yantanam.
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam,
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Loe Sava Samunam.
Namo Loe Sava Samam.
Eso Panchana Mukaro,
Eso Panchana Mukaro.
Sauvabhava Panasano,
Savapava Parasano.
Lanancha Savesim,
Mangalaram Chapram.
Ramam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havai.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Okay. Last time we decided that we're going to take 3 items today. First was chapter 1 of Apt Vani number 1, Charan Vidhi, and then Kalam experience. So, how do you want to do that, Pulinanandji?
What we should do is, we could take up Kalam 1 in case anyone wants to share his or her experience, or we just briefly explain the importance of Kalam 1 so that they can now practice for the coming week. That will be the homework part of it. And then we could take up Charan Vidhi something, and then in the balance time we could go for Apt Vani 1.
Okay.
Because, that is what I would feel.
Is that okay, everybody? Kaushal, Bhumika, Puja, is okay?
No.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put...
Anybody wants to share their experience in case they have, otherwise we something, whatever they have understood as far as Kalam 1 goes. It's
anyone? Puja?
I'll share.
Okay. Kaushal?
Yeah, the one thing is, since we have decided to stay in 5 agnas, it has been really an amazing experience, because the first column is Hum Na Dubai, and as soon as we have to talk with anyone, I had multiple experiences this past week where I had gone to a business convention, so I was meeting so many people, and you see multiple behavior, but right away, once you see Shuddhatma, everything else just melts away. And then I don't know how, at times my facial expressions might show that I am a little unhappy with the situation, but the language was never hurting anyone. It was just very calm, composed, and like, hey, can we not do that? Or how are you? Or, I don't like this. Can we take a different approach? But nothing of the sort where I was trying to look at faults from others, or the entire experience was really, really nice.
I'm good. So basically, the purpose is we understand what this first column is all about. And by way of Purusharth, everyone will be asking for this strength for the whole coming week, as and when time permits throughout the day. Yeah. When you keep on asking any one kalam strength, it works as a repeated reminder. It's a hammering. So it enhances the Jagrati. As a result, in any behavior where you are likely to hurt someone, either you will be alerted right away, or you would be alerted instantly, immediately after you have hurt someone. Basically, it's going to work as a self-reminder throughout the day. And you need not say the whole kalam totally. Initially, say 4 or 5 times first thing in the morning or whenever time permits. Then during the pause moments in the day, whenever you have some gaps and all, you could just briefly say it. Aham na dubhai, syadvad vani vartan, syadvad vani, syadvad vartan, syadvad mana. So just that much also is a reminder for the kalam one. And that is the way I propose the Purusharth to be for the coming week, for the coming week. So that part of the kalam gets sort of ingrained in our alertness or in our jagrati. And what will really happen is it will work against our prakriti, work against the prakriti, and wherever we have brought that I will show him, I will show her, the hurting aspect of our prakriti, our discharge prakriti. So this will act as a break over there. And we will again come back. So this is today's opinion based on today's Gnan that we have received. And we are working against the discharge prakriti which was charged in the previous birth. So we are taking kalam at a time. For this kalam, this is the proposed Purusharth, and that is the way everyone will work on the Purusharth. And then you can narrate your experiences. Only specifically and pointed as to how did this kalam pop up, or how did this kalam jagrati put breaks. You may fail also, but then you can even tell that experience that this is how in the heat of the moment my behavior was such that someone got hurt, someone's ego got hurt by speech or action, or even at the mind level. And then this kalam I remembered, and then I erased it out. You can give both type of experiences where you have succeeded or where you have even failed. Just to repeat, in fact, most of us are all our traditional youth who have been with us in that 6:30 hours, our Sunday slots during Corona when we had this youth stuff. 6:30 p.m. everybody was there with us. I see all the same faces. So everybody knows what aham na dubai, not to hurt someone's ego. Na dubhav, I don't ask someone to hurt someone else. Or if someone has hurt someone's ego and tells, oh, I gave him so and so, I gave him a piece of my mind, I had a lashing at him, and then we say, good, that was nice, it was, that person deserved it. So in case we support such a behavior, then it's anumodan. Kana karai na karavai karta pratyena anumodan. Not to do, not encourage someone to do, not support someone doing it. So that is the crux, and that is a decision. So this is the negative aspect, that I don't want to do this, and the positive aspect is in the second half of the first column. It says, give me the infinite inner strength, so that I may not hurt the other person, by way of Syadvad Vani, Syadvad Vartan, and Syadvad Mana. Syadvad means not to hurt anyone's viewpoint. We have some viewpoint of way things should be done. Someone else holds a different viewpoint. So we are asking for strength. We are asking for strength that may my speech be such that I don't hurt anybody and anybody's ego. My behavior is such, it doesn't hurt someone's ego. And even at the mind level, I don't want to hurt someone's ego. Now, at the mind level, what will happen is, it is pure discharge. In fact, all three have discharge, but thoughts will come. So when we ask for this strength of Syadvad Manan, that is non-hurting thinking, what will happen is, whenever thoughts will emerge or thought pops up that so and so is a useless fellow, you have hurt someone, you have hurt someone's ego in your mind level, and having recited or asked for this strength of the Kalam, you'll immediately realize, you'll be alerted that, oh, this is wrong. I have done against what I have been asking. So it put a break. And then what will happen is, you will do cross. That is, you will cross out mentally the thought of hurting someone's ego, which had popped up and you had got engrossed into it. You will say cross. And then you will just do the opposite, the reverse of it. No, he's a good person, or I don't want to hurt him, whatever the opposite of whatever has happened. So in that is the process towards Syadvad Mana. And gradually, over a period of time, even if such a thought appears or comes up in the mind by way of discharge, it will just come and flow. You will witness it as an observer and will not get engrossed into it. Then that will be the pinnacle of Syadvad Mana in this life work. Till all such thoughts get exhausted, basically not the thoughts, basically our kasha is Krodman Malo. So when all those will get cleared out, then automatically this Manan will be operational, But till that time, one step below that is what will come and go away. You will not get engrossed. And one step below that is, we'll be alerted the moment a such thought appears. So we might get engrossed, we might not get engrossed. Both things will happen. So the purpose of the Purushartha by way of homework will be to ask for such strength so that you will be alerted to the Manan part of it at the thought level. You will be alerted to the speech level, and you will be alerted to the action level. So this was, in a nutshell, just a revision of the importance of the first Kalam. Not to hurt someone's ego means, but each person has a belief, I am so and so, I and other ways, I'm someone's father, I. So hurting that I is the crux of the first Kalam. You have insulted me, you have hurt me, you don't care for me. So that ego of someone else is what we are addressing over there. It's a very prime Kalam, if I may say so, very prime Kalam. Because if that is taken care of, many things get taken care of. So the ego, first half of the Kalam, not to hurt anyone's ego. And the second part, where we ask for strength such that I get this non-hurting speech, thought, and action. With this brief explanation, I leave it for you people. In case anyone has a question to ask on this, then they can ask a question, or let's see, how do we go? So that's all. Jai Sachin.
Deepakanandji, you want to add something?
Yeah, Jai Sachidanand. Ego is everyone's relative power, authority. And when someone's ego gets challenged directly through our behavior or verbal expression, or indirectly through our negative thought for that particular person, then it reaches and it hurts someone's direct existence, because everyone exists as ego, as I am so and so, I'm so and so. Someone may say that, oh, he is a self-realized person. No, even if someone is self-realized person, this factor of ego is there, and it does get affected, and the person gets challenged by our misbehavior, when we end up hurting the other person's ego. So when we keep reciting this particular one, the first one, and the first one is considered as the crux of all the 9 code of conduct. So with that, keeping in mind, as very Pulinanandji has nicely explained how it works, like the moment you decide for something, then it keeps reminding you every time you cross the boundaries of first column. And this really helps us correcting, like how we strain tea before giving to anyone. Same way our dealing will gradually uh, change with the vigilance and the station of this first column. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Any comments, questions, experience, anybody? Puja,
Just one thing if I can add.
is that?
If one thing if I can add.
Okay, go ahead.
It's like, our courteous behavior, even that has a lot of effect. So formally, if we take care of anybody's ego through our courteous behavior, that also makes a big difference. But when with vision, that means with understanding, with total understanding, and with vision, that is, we see pure soul in everyone with the self-realization, then it changes the whole scenario totally. Jai Satchidanand.
Okay. Pulinanandji, there's no question, so we want to go to Apt Vani, and this will be homework for next week.
Yeah, this is going to be the homework for next week. And now we we can just take that Charan Vidhi a little bit. And then we go for the Apt Vani.
Okay. How we want to do Charan Vidhi?
You just put on screen.
You want the
We can, I don't know whether we start with the Nishya Vyavachana Vidhi.
do you want to go to Charan Vidhi straight away?
Yeah, because that is very important. Now, Kalam, anyway, we are covering up 3 mantra, almost everybody knows. This is what will add straight value to people, because I don't see any new people over here. Most of us are the audience that I see on the screen is all who are very conversant with all this stuff. In case somebody new was there.
Pulinanandji, Pulinanandji, what I feel, if we just quickly run through its importance, this goes online. So with that, many things at times, even regular people or those people are there with us for a long time. At times, they also miss that. So I believe just quickly brush through it and the importance of all the 5 prayers what are given as Satsang. Only if you are comfortable with it.
Okay.
Because once we start with Charan Vidhi, then it's going to go on and on. We will not touch 3 mantra and all that stuff. Because I have one particular point which I want to stress on that.
Okay.
I am going to put that in our group message also. Dada Bhagwan, he in one of the Satsang, he had said that when we say 3 mantra, normally, like if a Gujarati person speaks 3 mantra, then in his mind that Gujarati script comes. He's reading when we say, because we said you must read the three mantra and say. So naturally, someone who's Gujarati, that Gujarati script will come in his mind, and he'll be more comfortable and he's more familiar also with Gujarati. But and maybe English people, if they don't know the Gujarati language, then what they are reading through the English words, NAM, like Hindi and Hindi, when you read through that, because those are original script was Dada has said, the effectiveness is great, because we are not changing what was there from time immemorial, like. So if we decide the three mantra by reading the script, the Hindi script, which I had put in the, that's why I put in the beginning, and as far as possible, I keep it handy every time three mantra is said. I bring that on the screen so that at least we start reading also the three mantra in that script. Its effectiveness is fantastic. I will try to bring in the what Dada has said. He has said wonderfully. So that is that. Secondly, if we say three mantra, it is a kind of prayer which will help us get away from any obstacle, physical, mental, relational, financial, any problem that comes, I mean, anything that comes under the name problem or disturbance or obstacle. Three mantra is a great tool what Dada has given, and specifically for all the five prayers, all the five satsang, Dada has said, it is in his time, we used to say that as Vyavhar Charan Vidhi. And the effectiveness of that,
Should we have Charan Vidhi?
Yeah, true. No, absolutely. Correct.
That was the heading of that book, Ketsiba had printed.
Yeah.
Should we have Charan
Yeah.
Vidhi?
Correct. And subsequently, we have been saying that as such sadhana. But what Dada has said, these five prayers, I mean, in these five prayers, I have put all the powers, all the stuff that is needed in today's worldly life. Not only that, it helps us eliminate, eradicate, pacify, subside all our worldly problems. At the same time, it prepares us in the path of liberation. The outcome of that prayer on the real side, that in the path of liberation, is one who does that comes across a living enlightened person, Gnani Purush, from whom that person will get enlightenment, his self-realization, he will get to know who he is, and then he will be on the path of liberation, which he experiences even without living his worldly life, householder life, in every moment of his life. So the importance of, many times we know something like in the back of my mind, yeah, I know, but we fail to use that tool for our problems. So if we just keep in mind the importance of three mantra and how we do it, the effectiveness of that prayer will be fantastic, not only on the relative side, but on the real side also. Jai Satchidanand. Same way.
Okay.
Namaskar, Vidhi. Okay. Pulinanandji, you want to say something, please?
So, then elaborating on that, you see the importance with the background that when Dada Bhagwan's time, when this thing was printed and was published, should we have Charan Vidhi? So I wish to reflect why this particular name was given. Then I felt that for a lay person who is not initiated in Gnan, who has not taken Gnan, who has not got the self-realization, for him, it is going to make his vyavahar or worldly dealings shuddha or pure. Shuddha means he'll go towards liberation. You know? So with three mantra to begin with, in three mantra, what will happen is basically it's a mantra or three mantras to remove worldly obstacles, which everyone has in present times. So reciting this with full attention, Jagrati, in the presence of Chitta, will help us in elevating or reducing worldly problems when they come. What Dada said was that if 100 kilo stone were to fall on your feet, instead of that, it'll be over 25 kilos. The effect of the pain will be of that order. That is the importance of reciting the three mantra whenever we have worldly obstacles. At that time, we have to recite it more, but on an average, 5 times is enough. And it is very important to understand what you are reciting. So when you say Namori and Tana, the person must know that he is paying obeisance to whom. Namo means obeisance, namaskar. He must know he is paying obeisance to life Tirthankar, one of them being Simanda Swami of the 20. So whenever he says Namori and Tana, we must visualize Simanda Swami photograph or idol, whatever comes to him. Then when he says Namo Siddhana, he must remember that he is paying obeisance to the liberated souls. I Rihanam the Acharyas, who was Adam the teachers, and lowest our sound on the saints who are on the path of liberation. The all three, Sadhu, Upadhyaya and all, they are all self-enlightened, that is, they have realized their self, Atmadrashti, and they are on the path towards their liberation. So Sadhu, as he evolves, he becomes Upadhyaya. Then Upadhyaya, as he evolves, he becomes an Acharya. Acharya is one whose mind, body, speech are aligned with the sayings of the Tirthankars. The lowest our sound means Sadhu has started this thing. Upadhyaya has, to some extent, it has come into his practice, that is in mind, body, speech are also in that category. So this is he must know whom he is paying obeisance to. Then the remaining 4 sentences are obviously just for the meaning that by paying obeisance to him, it is a destroyer of all sins. Sarva Pava Panasana, Manglananji Savesim, most auspicious among all is to pay obeisance to them. Padmam Havai Mangla. Vasudevai, of course, Lord Krishna was the last Vasudevai, so we call his face or idol or picture. Om Namah Shivaya is a person whose ego is gone, who can vanquish someone else's ego, whose well-being has been achieved, whose kalyan, and is the limit for the well-being of the others. Such a person is a Shiv Purush. It's different from Shankar, the traditional thing that people know. So Shiv for us could be, or is rather, Dada Bhagwan, Kalyankari Purush, person whose self has already been taken care of, well-being has been taken care of. Well-being means the spiritual well-being, and is also an instrument in spiritual well-being of others. So with this understanding, and of course, in case a person is not able to focus his chitta, then the reading of the letters of the mantra is always a useful aid while reciting the mantra. So understanding to whom you are paying obeisance, and then paying obeisance, and then reciting the 3 mantra will be effective. So that is just wanted to add. Same thing with Namaskar Vidhi, we are paying obeisance to the greatest spiritual masters of all of in the entire cosmos. All the spiritual masters, starting with Simanda Swami, then Om Parameshti, Panch Parameshti. The 5 in the 3 mantra are called Panch Parameshti. Ones who are going to become Panch Parameshti are called Om Parameshti. That is someone who is going to become Arihant Siddhacharya. ahead afterwards, later on, is called Om Parmeshti now. The guy MBBS who has finished his graduation studies but is doing internship. So he's going to become a doctor. So that one who is going to become Panch Parmeshti is called Om Parmeshti. Then Tirthankars, of course, is explanatory, self-explanatory. All the Tirthankars residing in other regions. Mitrakshasan Dev Devi, Nispakshpati, all the Dev Devis, Krishna, Shiva and all. Essentially, these are all enlightened people. And the purpose of paying obeisance is we get divine grace of all these evolved souls. So, it does help us in our spiritual journey towards moksha. And in case someone has done viradhana, spoken ill of any of the evolved souls unknowingly also, knowingly or unknowingly, then by doing this namaskar vidhi, what will happen is that will get erased because you have unknowingly said wrong things about them, criticized them, whatever, viradhana. So by paying obeisance, that gets nullified. It does remove an obstacle because these are very high people, and if you say wrong things about them, it creates a lot of hardship. Hardship in the sense you suffer not only in the worldly life, but you also move away from the moksha path or liberation path. So this is necessary to erase any wrongdoings, and if there are no wrongdoings, to seek their blessings. So that is the import of this namaskar. Now karma to, as we all know, it's going to purify our prakriti, man, vachan, kaya, whatever we have brought. It's working basically on our prakriti, so it gets pure straight away. And the final of the 9th kalam, of course, is the Jagat Kalyan. I'm not going more into that because that we are going to take out. The Shuddhatma Pratyay Pratna, where a person prays goes down to his own soul, seeks forgiveness of whatever errors he has done during the day by mind, speech, body, and resolves apologies for that. And then he says, now I want to be one with you. You means the true self or the Shuddhatma. So that at a gross level, the importance of this thing, and it helps non-Mahatma also, and it will lead him towards the path of moksha. And we as Mahatmas also will help us in the purification of our prakriti and whatever misdeeds we might have committed before initiation gets erased. So this is at the gross level the importance of this thing. I'm not going to the details. Yes. And of course, Kirtan Bhakti I missed out. Last Kirtan Bhakti is where we are doing the bhakti of our own pure soul. That Dada said that minimum 8 minutes, maximum 50 minutes, inner bliss will start flowing. Whatever scars that we encounter during worldly life, those will get smoothened out, and it enhance the Jagrati, as well as for people who are initiated, it is Pratyaksh Kirtan Bhakti. You have realized yourself and doing Jaikar of the pure self. For others also it will benefit because he's doing the Jaikar of his own pure soul. Gods have been worshipped in body form, but never in that true spiritual form, the true soul form. Somebody may be a worshipper of Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, or Mahavir Bhagwan, or anybody. So typically worshipping is of the body form, nothing wrong, but never the soul has been worshipped. So this is a means of directly worshipping the soul. And if you worship the soul, you worship all the gods, because the soul in all gods is the same. This is the direct worship of the soul. And Dada is, this is a cash bank of divine solution, where you will get bliss instantaneously, minimum 8 minutes, after minimum 8 minutes of chanting Dada Bhagwan Apt. So Ashud Parmanus also will get extinguished. There are many things on each of them, but I don't want to go into all the details right now. Just so at the gross level, the importance of the Satsang, how it helps non-Mahatma, because we started with the word Shudh Vyavahar Charan Vidhi. So I just added a little bit on that. It makes the Vyavahar Shudh goes toward moksha. For initiated also, it helps the Shudh Vyavahar. And this is how it's very useful. So in a nutshell, it can be elaborated, but I'm leaving that at this level.
Yeah, Pulinanandji.
Ah.
Pulinanandji,
Ah.
please share the purpose and goal and benefit of 24-hour Kirtan Bhakti.
But to 24 Kirtan Bhakti was the last thing Dada Bhagwan gave, maybe before he left the mortal body. That it is my agna that this be done every 15 days for 24 hours. And with upyog, means with the presence of chitta. So that normally a person doesn't get an opportunity to say for 50 minutes at a stretch. Typically 1 kunthanu, as they say, 48 minutes, rounded off to 50 minutes. So once that happens for 50 minutes, higher order of purification takes place, chitta gets purified, and immense bliss erupts within. Also, if there are some things which we don't understand, some insights also pop up during this chanting, And if you're in that environment for 24 hours, the environment also works on the person, And any worldly problems, of course, they get raised, or he goes with immense amount of bliss. Then he carries that chanting inside, even after going home, that thing vibrates inside, the sounds vibrate inside for a few days more. So he gets that additional benefit at home. And this is something very simple, which even an uneducated person, even a child, anyone can do it. It's a very simple tool, but you see, it should be done the way he had envisaged. So
Mute.
If it is done the way he has envisaged, it will help a lot. There are many benefits now that goes on and on. I'm just leaving that. Okay. Charan, if you can add karo.
Yeah, just a few things to add quickly. Dada Bhagwan has said that we all have done previous non-worship, what Pulinanandji said about Viradhana, and by doing Namaskar Vidhi, we are doing direct Aradhana, direct worship, and that's how that cancels our previous non-worship, and we get connected, especially when we are doing 40 times Simanda Swami Namaskar. We are connecting ourselves and we get the benefit of 108 times direct personal one-to-one namaskar to Simanda Swami. So that is one of the very great things. Also, 9 diamonds, what Dada has said, Dada Bhagwan opened within me because of the 9 diamonds, which he did for 40 years. At the age of 50, and Dada Bhagwan opened within him. So this is and also what he has said, that after Gnan, after self-realization, when someone, how will one attain moksha then? See, through self-realization, on the real side, you have reached almost the highest peak. But on the relative side, that is worldly side, our dealing has not become non-violent. It somehow, one way or the other, we end up hurting others. So he has identified that as perfect dealing, perfect transaction, or will write Dada's words, Adarsh Vyavahar. So after self-realization, what is needed is Adarsh Vyavahar only, which 9 diamonds. Now Kalam will really help us achieve that. And Kirtan Bhakti is a direct connection with your inner God, inner state. So it will open our experience, it will help us experience Dada Bhagwan directly, as it is said, cashback of divine solution. Jai Satchidanand.
Hey, Charan, I want to share one experience on the three mantra in our family. We have Taruben's sister's daughter, Puja. I think Deepakanandji, you might have met him. Pulinanandji, I don't know, you met him or not. Okay, when she
Met her.
met her, thank you. Yeah, she just started her life in New Jersey. It was not good, so she came and stayed with us for 2 years, and then she was totally failing in maths and science. Of course, I had to do a lot of work. Input to her to make her to a good level. Then she moved to Columbus, Ohio, and then she went and did the college. And she wanted to go medicine, she didn't get it. So finally, she decided to go to Caribbeans. Caribbeans, you have to spend 2 years there. And in Caribbeans, you go to school, we wake up, go to school, come home, study, sleep, and that's a routine. So she said, Masa, what should I do? I said, hey, this is three mantra. Just do it as many times as she did. And guess what? She did 50, 100 times three mantra every day. And I used to ask her, how did you spend your life there? I said, that Masa, without three mantra, I would have never sustained in the Caribbean for 2 years. And I would have never passed this, all the courses in Caribbean. She came back here, now she's a brilliant child doctor. So this is a living proof that what three mantra can really do. She used to do three mantras so many times a day. So this is our experience in the family. Okay, do you want to do something on the Charan Vidhi?
Yeah, I think we can do that because we have about 15 minutes left now. So, Nan Sakshatkar Pamela Martini. Now, this Charan Vidhi is a must for all those who are initiated. Avashya Karva Jevi Divas Maikar. Most necessary to be done at least once in a day. Because you see, in any Kramik path of moksha, Kramik path, whether it's a Jain, Vaishnava order, there are rituals or there are prayers and there are methodology to advance spiritually. Same thing over here in this Akram Marg, where we are progressing towards moksha by the grace of a Gnani. So initiation does take place, belief does change place, but the remaining portion of exhausting the Prakriti and squaring up all the karmas, we need something. So at Antaratma stage needs a direction, what to do. All that is put in this Nishchay Vyavahar Charan Vidhi. For a Mahatma, this is a very, very rich source, very powerful sentences which can help one progress towards moksha, and he can become ek avatari, or one life worth remains. So extremely important. With that, this is of course only for a Mahatma. Those who are not initiated, for them only the first 5 Satsadhanas are of importance. This is for those who initiate, because once the belief that I am the pure soul, once that is started, then all this makes meaning or sense. So, so what do I do? Hey Niragi, Nirvikari, Satchidanand, Swarup, Sajanandi, Anand Gnani Anand Rashi Trailokya Prakashak Shuddha Buddha Chaitanya Tan Swarup Param Jyoti Suddham Eva Vitragi Paramatma. So what he's saying is basically he's addressing Dada Bhagwan as Niragi, one who is free from attachments, Nirvikari, one who is free from all the vikars, ever steady. Then Satchidanand Swarup, that is Sat Chit Anand means blissful state, blissful spontaneous state, that as it is mentioned here. Sahajanandi means you are spontaneous, tranquil, full of okay. Sahajanandi means you are in a blissful state spontaneously without any effort. Anant Gnani, Anant Darshi, so full of knowledge, infinite vision, as it's mentioned. Darshi, Trailokya Prakashak, illuminator of the entire universe. Illuminator of the entire universe, that's understandable. And the purest beyond the intellect, Shuddha Buddha Chaitanya and so. So it's addressing the Bhagwan who is full of all these qualities, infinite knowledge, bliss, illuminator of the entire cosmos and beyond intellect, whose intellect is all over. It's addressing Dada Bhagwan with all these qualities. Then the second thing is, Nishchay Nirnay Kevar Shuddhatma Chu. That is, I think with absolute belief and conviction, I am pure soul. Nishchay and Nirnay. Nishchay means truly speaking, vis-a-vis Vyavhar, relative. So truly speaking, I am Shuddhatma. And Nirnay means how I am Shuddhatma. Yes, I am convinced I am Shuddhatma because I am separate from the body and these are my properties which are separate from the body. So I am convinced. So, Nishchay Nirnay, in absolute terms, really speaking, I am, and with conviction that I am the pure soul. This we repeat 3 times because that's the way it is. Then you have it, Mane apni apurva shakti. Give me your inner strength. O Dada Bhagwan, please bless me with your infinite strength. Okay. Then he says, Mane Shuddhat Manu Satat Smarana. Give me the infinite strength so that I constantly remain. Please bless me to remain in constant remembrance of the pure soul. That I remember that I am the pure soul. Basically, I remember I am pure soul. Pachi mane apno akhand indyasan. Bless me with your constant vision of your divine self. Give me that Nidhi Dhyasan. What will we tell in English? Visualize, sort of visualize. May I visualize your face. Give me the strength that I forever, or on a continuous basis, I can always visualize your face or visualize you. Rather. Face is the beginning, then it comes the subtle part of it later on. And then, bless me with your constant proximity to your divine self. Sanidhyapo means the true self, as it's mentioned, the divine self. And then apna sarvotru sadguno marama utkushpane suraiman thao. That may all your divine attributes spontaneously shine within me. So it is said in his words, of course, that the Gnani Purush has 1008 sadgun or divine attributes. So may I be blessed with all your divine attributes, or may all your divine attributes manifest within me. So I just leave it at that with the time in mind. So this is the importance of the first page or first part of the Charan Vidhi. Charan, anything else?
Pulinanandji, can we pause here and ask if there are any questions so far or anybody?
Yeah. We are pausing here only. We are pausing only. So any questions? Yeah.
Anybody? Everybody is quiet today.
Because
Just to ask about the title. It's Nishchay Vyavhar. So all of this seems like it's more Nischay related. Why is it also called Vevar?
Because that will come now.
Oh, okay.
It's a very good question. No, it's a very good question. Very, very relevant question. Basically, as I said, this is the Akram path to moksha, where one realizes oneself by the grace of a Gnani. It's not his own self-effort, where he has unveiled his own pure soul by his own purushat, by eliminating his own kashais, and the soul has not got unveiled. By his grace, some portion of the coverings have been removed, and the experience of the pure soul has emerged. So, what I means I who was the name bearer, he now becomes I the pure soul. Now that he has not become 100% pure soul, but is in the intermediate state, as they call it as Antaratma Dasha. So that I has to do two things. It has to remain anchored in his true self, that I am the pure soul, with the following attributes: Anand Gnana, Anand Darshan, infinite vision, infinite knowledge. And it has also to cleanse up the Vyavar or ask for an ideal Vyavar. Because so far I was in the Vyavar, now I am coming out of Vyavar. So that cleansing part remains, it's like this, Pooja, if I have to just give a example from the corporate world.
Mm-hmm.
You are a manager department A, and you then get promoted to head of some department B. But before you, and that now you are the new head of that department B. But before you go and take those assignments, you have to clear up your department A. Whatever assignments are there, projects are there, some hardships are there, someone is hurt. So you have to square up and say goodbye, bye, farewell, and all that. Only then you can fully be engaged in the department B or new assignment.
Right.
So same thing here. We are now going towards a pure soul, that I am the pure soul. But before that, I have to cleanse up all the rubbish that I did when I felt I was the name bearer of the body. So I have got two things to do: cleanse up the wrongdoings, or not the wrongdoings, whatever I accumulated by way of being the name bearer, and then remain anchored in my true self, or come back to my pure true self. So it is Nischay and the relative and the real. So as we progress in the description or understanding the Charan Vidhi, the center portion is all about Nischay. That is the attributes of the pure soul. Chaitanya Gan Swarupi Vashutatma Chua Rupi Chua Sangachu. All that is pure soul, the Nischay part. What we did was the Vyavar part, really speaking. We are addressing Dada Bhagwan with the attributes in the first sentence, and then I'm asking that I want your constant vigil, constant experience, and all. So that's in the Vyavar part. This is what I am asking, you see. Because the Nischay is what I am as a pure soul. The attributes or the properties as a pure soul. That will come, Anand Gnana, Anand Darshan, Chaitanya.
Yeah.
That's the Nischay aspect. And the Vyavar aspect is, this is what I want.
I see. Okay.
Pure soul never wants anything, isn't it? Pure soul is pure soul. It doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
I want, so that I is asking, that's the relative aspect. So that is the Vyavar part of it. And this is the center portion is the Nischay as we come along that part.
Okay, that clarifies. Thank you.
Okay, we have about 5 minutes. We want to talk about Apt Vani, Pulinanandji?
What will happen is, since it is flowing now, Apt Vani, we keep it as a backup, because we wanted a structured discussion to go with Purshat. So Purshat portion we have started rolling today, and structured value addition by way of Charan Vidhi we are starting. So these two things are okay. If there is nothing, then we will take over this thing. Or unless we want to read, we can read 2-5 minutes. I don't mind. We can read that.
No, what,
And okay, no, I'll tell you one thing. Let's do it that way. Let us just, can you just share it on the screen, that Apt Vani? We'll read a little bit, and then I have a feeling, people could read it on their own also, a few pages. But what will happen, it will clash
we
with
wanted everybody to, read the first chapter. I don't know anybody read it or not.
No, we didn't ask anybody to read, really speaking. We just said we will be reading, and that is on the sidelines, a bit of reading, say 1 or 2 pages, whatever it may be. Because what will happen is we also need to focus on the Purusharth aspect of the Kalam. So reading, just I would leave it as 2-3 pages, whatever is comfortable. Gradually, we also have new inputs, a little bit of Purusharth. 2 things as a homework for the group over here. Reading of the Apt Vani on their own, and then what we could do is read chapter 1, whatever pages you can, 2, 3, 4, whatever you can. And in case you have questions on those, we could take it up as structured discussion or question answer session on that in the next week's satsang. So next week's satsang will comprise of 2 things from the audience, from the participants, by way of questions, if any, on the reading of Apt Vani, and number 2, by way of experience of reciting the first Kalam, if they have to share. So those will be the inputs from the other end, and from our end, we will answer the questions if there are, or we'll elaborate on the experiences, and we will also take the little few sentences of the Nishchay Vyavahar Charan. So that's how we can structure the session in the next Wednesday or next Tuesday for you. We can just read a few.
And
just not,
also, well, we don't have that much time, so I think let people read it and next time we can discuss it.
no, just put it on. Just put it on. Just 2 minutes. Just put it on. You have already put it on. That means, because that word will be there. Because the tragedy is, okay, if we have Rani and Saila and a few people who don't understand Gujarati, otherwise most of us are Gujaratis. What is dharma? Really, dharma, religion, one's duty is it is anything that remains in and results in rewards to its own intrinsic properties. Dharma means one's intrinsic nature and properties. For example, when you call gold, when can you call gold as gold? It is only when it exhibits the properties that are intrinsic to gold. Another example is, if these grapes are bitter, then you could say that it does not exhibit the intrinsic property and nature. Brass can look and shine just like gold if it is polished enough, but if a goldsmith were to test it, you would be able to tell that it is not gold from intrinsic properties of that metal. Okay, I leave it at that. Basically, dharma, typically we mean religion. Here, dharma has been identified as one's own nature and properties. Basically, as a property of anything. Dharma, the meaning is, gun. What is its property, intrinsic nature and property of whatever it may be. Here, the examples are of gold and brass. So similarly, what is the dharma or property of your soul? What is the dharma of property? That is what is being tried to, Dada is saying in this first chapter. What is dharma? One connotation is the religions, the Christian religion, the Sikh religion, the Jain religion, and the real meaning in the spiritual sense is the property of the whatever it is. So that is about dharma. Now with this background, you may please read the first chapter, the pages of the first chapter. Okay, Jai Sachin.
Okay,
Yes,
so now the time is up, but let's take a couple of minutes for feedback. So what do you think? Puja, you are the limelight. So what do you think of today's satsang? This format is okay?
Yeah,
Puja?
absolutely. I think this was lovely. We have a Purusharth in place. We can discuss that, go through the Sat Sadhan, the Charan Vidhi, and then ask any questions on Apt Vani from chapter 1. Yeah,
Okay,
it's great.
Kaushal left.
Feedback from the English
Oh, I'm here.
speaking exclusive.
Kaushal, quickly.
No, I agree with Pooja completely. You know what we have, so this is really good.
Okay,
Let's
Sheila Ben.
continue with this.
Shaila Ben, Lalita
Ah,
Ben.
Jai Sachidanand. Yeah, it was a very thought-provoking satsang. Lot of things that I have to try to practice, and also I've learned a lot here. Especially the Charan Vidhi that I've been reciting, and now we know to learn the actual the real meaning of what I'm reciting has been really helpful. And but of course, the first Kalam, I think I'll probably be able to practice it this week and maybe give my input next week, because I feel like when I tried the first column, when I tried to, the awareness is there, but that it ends there. I mean, I don't think I'm doing any kind of, when I'm like in the middle of some kind of, not a confrontation, but any kind of an argument, then the awareness immediately sets in because of the first column. I think it has helped me in that way. So I think I had to just practice more. And regarding this last one, the Apt Vani, the whole, what we have been taught about Hindu Dharma, it's totally different when you actually read the Apt Vani. So when we never think about the intrinsic properties, we are always talking about like the Dharma of, it's more like a duty, what you're saying, it depends on the station in life, what you're expected to do. And that's what has been drilled into us since childhood. So it's a very different way of looking at things. And I think I will, it's very helpful. I mean, it's something new which I'm learning.
Very good. How about Krishna?
Yeah, it's a good separate, like you covering in 1 hour satsang everything, like prayer, Vidhi, Trimantra, Charan Vidhi, and Apt Vani, which is Dada's wording to understand what is the more detail in the satsang, real relative viewpoint, how you can connect, how you can interact with everyone. So I like it, this structure.
Okay, very good. Bhumika, Kuch bhi meat. I think Kush is meat. Anybody? Okay. Pulinanandji, can you do three mantra? Everybody recite, please.
Namo Vitragay.
Namo Vitragaya.
Vitragaya.
Namo Variyantanam.
Namo Arihantam.
Varihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo
Namo
Siddhanam.
Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo
Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo
Vasayanam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahunam.
Namo
Loe
Sava
Sava
Sahunam.
Sahunam.
Eso Panchana Mukaro.
Eso
Panchamakaro.
Karo.
Sava Bhava Panasano.
Panasano.
Manglanam Savesim.
Mandranam Savesam.
Sim.
Kadmam Havai Mangalam.
Kadamam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om
Om
Namah
Namah
Shivaya.
Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Jai
Satchidanand.
Yes.
Okay.
Jai
Jai Satchidanand.
Satchidanand.
See you next week. Jai
Jai
Satchidanand.
Jai
Sachidanand.
Jai
Sachidanand.
Satchidanand.
Jai
Deepakanandji. Jai
Sachidanand.
Satyam Pulinanandji. Pradnyan
Jai
Karyam.
Satchidanand.